So there's another question that I've seen come up, and someone has asked, can I bring my family to Ireland? I think in the previous video you just saw my son walking in. So he's Kenyan. He's not Irish. He's Kenyan, even though his Swahili has very depleted because he came to Ireland as a very small kid. And yeah, so someone asked, like, can you bring family to Ireland? My response is this: when you come to Ireland, there are mostly two of the main reason why people come to Ireland. So number one, people come to work. Number two, people come to study. And the other reasons, like, asylum seekers, like, people coming to seek asylum from, like, like refugees. But I'll address these two issues, that about family studying and about work. So I'll start with work, because that is the situation that I have experienced. When I moved to Ireland, I moved here to work. I'm an anthropologist. I'm a medical anthropologist. I studied at the University of Nairobi, my BA in anthropology, and I studied masters in medical anthropology. And I used to work as a researcher in medical research in Kenya. I was not like one of the like top researchers. So because like you wouldn't know about me. But I'm just cooking here. Yeah, it's garlic bread I'm making for my wife over there. So I moved here, and jobs, and I'll talk about jobs, and I'll talk about different types of jobs that people can take up. So I moved here as a researcher. So as a researcher, I could bring my family immediately while moving here, like my children and my wife. And there are other jobs also, like the different permits of work. But generally, there is a policy, it's called the family reunification policy, where people from outside the EU are allowed, and even from those ones in the EU, are allowed to bring their families along when they come to work in Ireland. So I hope this clarifies that. And I'll talk more about this, because these are topics that just need like to go deeply. There are other details, like really small details that you need to understand about family and their rules around family and when family can come. Whereas there are other groups that can bring their families immediately. Other groups cannot bring their families immediately. For instance, as a researcher, I qualify to bring my family immediately. And there are people who hold like permits called critical skills employment permit holders. They can bring their families immediately. But there are people who hold this permits called the general work employment permit. So those ones, they have to wait for 12 months before they apply for a visa for their family. But their families will be given visa. But visa is normally granted based on the fact that you can afford to actually you can afford to take care of the family, because you're supposed to come to Ireland with no recourse to public funds. Like, you're not supposed to be, relying on social welfare and all that. So any person accompanying you, then you should be in a position to take care of their accommodation, their food, their health care. Sometimes you're required to have private health insurance, you see. Then this other second category is for like critical skills you can bring immediately. The general work employment permit holders, you cannot bring your family immediately. You have to wait for 12 months before your family comes. I'll put a link in this the description of this video. Then number two, we have students. So according to the immigration here, students are technically not allowed to bring their spouses, especially when you come from their dependent. They call dependent. So dependent will be spouse and children. But if you can demonstrate that you'll afford, because there's a criteria, and I'll take you through that criteria maybe in the next video, like how much will you show that you have for you to qualify to bring your family. And it's not a lot of money. It's a certain weekly amount of money depending on the number of dependents that you have, like children. And again, number 2, the salary that you earn. Because when you're a general work employment permit, you cannot bring your spouse if you're earning less than 30,000 euros per annum. Then as a researcher, you have express. You can bring your family immediately with you, because researchers have like a fast track work permit. It's called the hosting agreement. You just come in with your family anytime, and they get into employment. Then students. So there is an exemption of PhD students. So do PhDs, guys, PhD. So as a PhD student, you qualify something called immediate family reunification. You can jump on the flight from Nairobi or from Johannesburg or from Entebbe or Kigali, coming over here with your family with you. And yeah, it's my son. Daddy. My son coming again as usual. So that's family. It's proof that actually I've got family. Yes, I won't show you because he likes hanging out naked. So I won't show him in the video. Say hi. Hi. Okay, you go away. Go with your scooter. So as a PhD student, you are entitled to immediate family. I'm just turning off the oven. Daddy. Yes. I'm going back forward. Oh, you're going back forward? Yeah. That is his English. High five. Good. So you are entitled to immediate family reunification. And immediate family reunification means that you can bring your family immediately. But all this, visa, for you to get visa, you must also show that you can afford to take care of the family. I'll turn it off. Okay. You can afford to take care of the family, and you can afford to feed them and live in Ireland without recourse to government funds such as social welfare and all that. So I hope you have I have responded to your question, and I will explain more on how to get a job. I'll expand more on the different categories, like in terms of the threshold. So I've just allowed the noise of my son to be in the video so that actually there is family here. High five. High five. Okay, bye. So yeah, so I'll put it also in the link here so that you can see, you can read more about this. So see you.